what would happen if everybody on planet was a Buddhist? Would it be perfect peace, or is it just impossible, so we should just not to ask the question?
That's good. This is always fun. Let's ask what if, the what if. Well, it is kind of a difficult question to ask because it's asking us to be speculative, and the only answer that we can give is from basic principles. Well, we know that Buddhists are X, Y, and Z, and when a Buddhist, or when many Buddhists get together, they change the world in this way, and this way, and this way. So, if we were to, if all people on the earth were Buddhist, then these qualities would increase, and qualities that are not espoused by Buddhists would decrease. Now, of course, the other thing you have to qualify is whether you're talking about people who call themselves Buddhist or people who actually follow the Buddhist teaching, and then, of course, to what extent. If all beings were on earth were arahants, it would be a very short-lived species, because that would be it. But of course, that's ridiculous, because then you have all of these. Well, it's ridiculous. How would you get all humans on earth to be an arahant? It's impossible, for the reason that all of those people have karma with all of the other beings. So all of those other beings would have to be pulled up along with this person, and you'd end up with probably the destruction of life as we know it, because you need all these insects and so on to keep the ecosystem going. It would be a radical shift. It would just totally destroy the framework of the earth. The earth would maybe explode from the power of it. Really, I think it could happen, because an arahant is a very powerful thing. The earth can shake. We have this story that we tell in our tradition. I was there on my teacher's 80th birthday. He gave up the will to live, and then the earth shook that night. So imagine a world full of arahants. But people who are practicing the Buddhist teaching may not be practicing celibacy. If everyone was practicing the Buddhist teaching, I still think you'd have troubles keeping the world going, because it would be too much wholesome karma for the world to exist as it is. Like, the world is full of good, but also full of evil. It's half and half, or maybe whatever, 60-40, whichever way you happen to think. And if you have too much good in the world, the evil has to be broken apart, and the evil is very much a part of keeping the world in its current state of affairs. Now, it kind of sounds like I'm saying there'd be a problem. It wouldn't really be a problem. It would just be a problem for the world system. The world would not be able to function the way it functions now, because the world is very much dependent on evil deeds to function the way it does. Natural disasters are the result of evil deeds, famine and so on. Insect bites, you could even, I don't know, it's quite debatable. Insect bites may not be karmically related, but it's easy to see that if you get dengue or something, it might be karmically related. If when you have big swollen insect bites, when you get bitten by a snake, you can see it might be karmic. There was a story of a monk who happened to be friends with one of his friends in a past life, became a snake, and he was born as a human, and so he became a monk, and he got totally fed up with being a monk, and so he wanted to kill himself. And he tried various different ways, but he could never manage to cut his wrists or so on. And then he heard the monk said they'd caught a poisonous snake. And so he said, "Oh, here's a chance. Where's the poisonous snake? Oh, we put it in a bucket over there." So he went to the bucket and he stuck his hand in the bucket, and the snake wouldn't bite him. So he pushed the snake, and the snake still didn't bite him. And he grabbed the snake, and the snake still didn't bite him. And he shook the bucket up, and the snake still didn't bite him. So he threw it away. And he went and said, the monk said, "That wasn't a poisonous snake. That was just some ordinary grass snake." And they're all like, "That was a poisonous cobra, or that was a poisonous. That snake would, in the slightest bite." He said, "It did. I put my hand and it didn't bite." They asked the Buddha, and the Buddha said, "Oh, they were friends in a past life. That was his friend, and so he wouldn't bite him." So you can think snake bite could be karmic and so on. And without all of that, or with too much good karma, it all starts to break down. If you just mean, if all people in the world were to say they were Buddhist and to write it down on the census applications and so on, probably not much. I mean, yeah, maybe it would be a nicer place and people would be thinking about good things. No, that's cynical. It would be a better place, no? That's something you could imagine. If the world were all said they were Buddhist, then it would be, I think that's feasible. It's still quite ridiculous, isn't it? But something you could at least imagine. And you could think, well, that'd be nice, because then at least people would know what are the 5 precepts, and they'd know what is meditation. And I mean, in this country, it's kind of, many people don't practice, and in Buddhist countries, you see that people don't, but there's still something kind of wonderful, because you don't have a problem talking to them about these things, and mostly they don't have very strong wrong views. You do have a problem getting them to actually practice, because they have so much right view that they think they know everything. They'll say to you, "Oh yes, I don't practice, but we're Buddhist anyway," and deep in their minds they think that they already know everything, and so it's hard to get them to change, because they're already so right. That can be a problem.
I think for the second question, would it be the perfect place? Certainly not. It would be a better place. But this earth cannot be perfect. I doubt that very much. And a Buddhist not necessarily is rid of defilements, and as long as we have the defilements, Buddhist or not, we are doing stupid and bad things. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can think that the world is only made up of our experiences, right? And at least a good percentage of the majority of our experiences are karmically caused. And so if without all of the bad karma, the clinging karma, we wouldn't have been born in this world in the first place. So it really depends on the degree of what you mean by Buddhism.
But I think the Buddha would have discarded that question as off topic.
Questions that lead not to edification. Although there are some interesting implications that I think we've gone over.
It's fun to ponder over
Always
such
fun.
things.